keep away from a run around Sue, yeah. Whoa. And if you don't want to cry like I do, I keep away from a run around Sue. Whoa. I say it's been a fortnight, hasn't it, since his last show? And isn't it amazing what a fortnight can do for a person's mood? Arsenal were all doom and gloom. They've lost to Man City and lost to Brighton. And they've now 4 from 4. One of them informed teams in the Premier League, and they've got a big game tonight at home against Leicester. So happy times to be an Arsenal fan at the minute.
I know, happy times to be an Arsenal fan's girlfriend as well.
Yeah, and that's it.
In a much better mood.
That's it. And you know, as daft as it sounds, since Arteta took over, his first game on Boxing Day on the 26th, Arsenal are third in the league. So you know, it's promising times to be an Arsenal fan. So all that rubbish I was saying a fortnight ago about how there's no team, well, you can delete that from your hard drive, as Arteta would say. The Arsenal are back, and they're going to beat Leicester today, and it's going to be 5 in a row. But there's 2 games going on as well at the minute. We've just watched the first 20 minutes of Chelsea and Palace, and Giroud scored the opener, Richard's favourite player.
I've always said he's a class act. I've always said he's the right player.
I always love it when Giroud scores, because I tried, from being obviously when he was at Arsenal, I always tried to see positives in his performances, even if it were rubbish. So when he scores, I'm like, get in there, Giroud. But the goal came at
a cost for
for
Crystal Palace. Cahill's gone off with a hamstring injury, it looks like. He just pulled up, fell over, and Willian took the ball and crossed it to Giroud, and he scored. So
I really do feel for Palace.
It was a bit of an unfortunate goal for them to concede, I think.
If that had happened 10 yards further back, I think that the Chelsea player would have played it out. But because it was, you know, Willian had already made the run and he'd sort of left Cahill for dead, you know, Willian's every right to continue. And Giroud, obviously, he don't know what's happening in back play. He's just focused on getting to that 6-yard box and finishing.
Well, there were only
that's it. So,
matter of seconds between Cahill going over and the goal being scored. So, yeah, it was an unfortunate one for Palace and not a good start for them. But
I think if you are Roy Hodgson, you're annoyed because it's one of them that just there's nothing you can do about it, and someone slips. But at the same time, if Gary Neville said on commentary, if it were Benteke and Zaha, you know, they'd have put the ball in the back of the net. So it was just an unfortunate moment, and Chelsea from that goal looked like they were in the ascendancy and looked like they'd be pushing for more. So it should be a routine victory for them at Sellers Park tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
So what else do we know then, Zoe? Come on.
Oh, so much. I know loads of stuff. We've been off for last week, so we've got a couple of weeks worth of stuff to catch up on, but we'll concentrate on the weekend's action and things that have been going on during the week. And we're also, we can start with rugby league, we can finish with rugby league, but I'll let you decide on that one. But we've had a few sort of ups and downs. We know John Bateman's coming back to Wigan as of next year. That was announced over the weekend. And then we've had the hoo-ha that is deciding whether when the game's coming back and whether relegation and promotion, that's been postponed again, a decision on that. So that's been a bit of a catastrophe again.
Oh, I tell you what,
and then
meetings.
We've got all these new rules that are coming in for when the season does eventually start, but we're still waiting to see whether Championship's being started, whether League One's being started, whether there's going to be promotion, whether there's going to be relegation. And they're starting Super League in August. They're wanting to start, so
they're starting 2nd of August.
So they've not got much time left to make that decision, have they? And they had a meeting on Monday to decide to postpone to another meeting, which just seems ridiculous to me. Why can't somebody at the RFL and at Super League make a decision on what is going to happen? Because obviously they've been talking about it. It's been going on for ages and ages. So why can't somebody step up on that RFL board and say, this is what decision we're going to make, and that's it, that's final? Why do they need to have a meeting to then decide, oh no, we've not decided yet, we're going to have another meeting?
Well, I got an email yesterday morning about a meeting on Microsoft Teams with the Super League people. So all media managers from each club were involved in this meeting, and And to be honest with you, I saw it and it says, fixtures update and announcement. I thought, great, they might tell us as fixtures when they're going to be announced, the times, the plan of action, in terms of a content plan, how many games are going to be played in certain days, and all that you're expecting. That got delayed. That got suspended. So it was today at 4:00. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm hoping nobody that's actually watching at the minute is on that Zoom meeting or organised it. But what a waste of my time. It was 25 minutes, and they couldn't even give a date for when they were going to announce the fixtures. We're looking at maybe Monday morning, but that could be Tuesday, Wednesday, it could be mid next. And I'm thinking, Christ Almighty, what a waste of my time this is. So I've come out of it. So half an hour, and I haven't learned nothing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They're wanting to start the Super League season again on August the 2nd. What date are we on now? We're in July.
7th of July.
They've got 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
2.5, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
To sort out those fixtures and to sort out when and where teams are playing and who they're going to be playing against.
Needs sorting.
It needs sorting.
Seriously.
Serious, it needs sorting.
Because if they can't even make a decision on whether... I mean, I know there's a lot more issues surrounding Championship and League One and the funding and what have you and part-time and whatever. But you can't even announce the fixtures for the Super League, for the top tier of rugby league in England. You can't announce the fixtures. You've not got anything sorted, yet you've got a date of when you're starting the season again. Yet you don't know who's going to be playing when after that and what the setup is going to be. I just think the whole situation just seems farcical at the minute, and the fact that they've had meetings to postpone it to have another meeting, and then that meeting will probably get postponed again, and then they won't have made another decision. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I do. What we do know is that it's not a revamped competition. It's everybody's going to continue where they left off. So the standings are going to remain, and everybody will play everybody. So there's no mini league or anything like that. It is just pick up as we left off, which means there's going to be some midweek games. Now, I think the key thing there is if it's your club and you're looking, thinking, we play 3 times in 7 days, don't get too miffed by it, because, there's gaps in there. So, for instance, if you don't play in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, you'll play one of them games, you'll play in that slot there. So there's room for manoeuvre. Obviously, it's just a provisional list. But I'm just looking forward to getting some rugby back, and I'm sure the players are in the same boat as well. And if there is no promotion and relegation, then people talking about this player welfare, etc., where they can't play 3 games in 7 days, then just rotate your squad. You've got some young kids in there, give them a bit of exposure. Mm-hmm. There's no promotion and relegation, so you like some Wakefield, etc. They can pick a Connor Bailey and a Titus Guaze. Those players can play because there's no relegation, and it gives the senior guys a rest. So I'm just looking forward to seeing it back and seeing which players really can kick on and. I think it's all about, as daft as it sounds, I know it's a silly thing to say when there's a large chunk of the season, but it's all about building for 2021, really, isn't it?
I think that's the case now for this season. I just think, there's going to be a grand final at the end of it, but it's the top 4 teams, isn't it, that are going to be playing off against each other. It looks, if there isn't a relegation and promotion, like you said, it'll just be a chance for teams to give the senior guys a rest whenever, if they do have 3 games in a week or what have you. And I just think 2020, we were talking about the other day, Richard, weren't we? It's just been a bit of a write-off all round, I think. But just get the season back underway, play what you've got to play, and just see what happens.
Just on the fixtures, I've been told that they're going to be see your big games.
At the start.
So they're at the end because they're wanting to get the crowds in.
Yeah.
So your Wakefield will probably play, teams that you don't expect a crowd, and then they'll probably play your Leeds and your Cass and Hull FC later on in the season when crowds can come in. Looking at this 25% capacity, obviously I'm only talking on behalf of Wakefield, but for a Wakefield that would just get in the Wakefield members, so that's a a box tick there. Every member should in October, if it is expected that crowds can return, then Wakefield's members will be able to get in. Obviously, it's not going to be the case for all the clubs, so there's obstacles to come there. But I think they were looking as well at a Super League. They're going to, I think, 21 fixtures shown on Sky in 29 days. So that's a whole lot of fixtures there and a whole lot of rugby action.
Especially when they're trying to negotiate the Sky deal and going forward, having that many fixtures, it could be a blessing in disguise.
And the ones that aren't on Sky, they'll be shown on a subscription service that's
the Our League or something like that.
I've got a message from Ben. He says, "I bet if Toronto were not in the Super League, promotion and relegation would still be in effect."
Yeah, you could be right, actually, Ben. That's a valid point. I think they've always wanted Toronto in the Super League. I think that is a valid point. Just on Toronto, this is a blessing in disguise for them in many ways. The fact that they can use this as a bit of a getting to grips with Super League, and they've got that extra 12 months under McDermott to recruit, and they are signing some. Well, thought to be signing some players that are established Super League players and will improve Toronto. So they'll be thrilled that there's the relegation's off the cards, and as will a few other clubs though. I mean,
it's not obviously not been confirmed yet, has it? But
it's almost confirmed. There'll be a few clubs in there, your old KRs and Salfords and even your Wakefields, and that will be thinking, oh, it's one less thing to worry about there. And it could provide a big opportunity to some young players, which I think's the key, because I think there's a lot of young talent in Super League that maybe don't get the opportunities they deserve because of what's at stake at times. I look at last year, and again, I'm obviously talking from a Wakefield example, but if Wakefield hadn't have been in a bit of a relegation scrap towards the end, I think your likes of Jack Croft, etc., would have had more, and Lee Kershaw would have had more game time, and they probably wouldn't have felt the need to sign your Junior Sowes and Mason Caton Browns. That's just my point there. Yeah. If they thought there were no, you might as well bring in some of your own. It'd be good to see some youngsters get some game time. But it's going to be a different game. Is Super League when we do return? I'm looking at the rule changes that are going to be in place. Obviously, that
was another thing we said we'd come on to, and that has been announced this week that Wakefield that Super League will be adopting the 6 again rule.
What a load of rubbish.
And obviously the no scrum rule, which we knew about beforehand when when they were deciding whether to bring the game back. So the 6 again rule, that's the main thing that's been announced this week, and obviously the NRL adopted it at the start of the season, and since the NRL's been back, we've been watching it most weekends and getting to grips with this 6 again rule, and I think they have a bell whenever you've got another set of 6, and it has quickened the game up, hasn't it, over in the NRL? But
not drastically.
Is it a major thing? I mean, I disagreed with it when the NRL brought it in, and I said that I think it's a pointless rule. I don't think that you need to change things that don't need to be changed. But obviously, Super League have seen it in the NRL and want to bring it over into Super League as well.
You've a few things to weigh up here. I just worry that there's a bigger gulf in Super League from the top to the bottom than what there is in the NRL, and my worry is that there's going to be more blowout scores. There's going to be more blowout scores. There's going to be high scoring games, and is that really good for the game? I don't know, but having said that, for England and Sean Wayne to have the best possibility of cracking at international level, all the rules need to be under the same agenda, because if you've got Super League playing one rule and an NRL playing another, then when you come to play at international, who decides then? Tom, Dick or Harry? It's one of them, innit?
I've always said that.
They all need to be under the same page,
absolutely.
And that will benefit Wayne Bennett and Sean Wayne in England. But I just don't like it. I'm not. If they're the international rules and Australia are doing that, then yes, Super League have got to follow suit, I think. But if you're asking me, am I a believer of the rule? Am I in favour of it? My answer is no. I just think there'll be too many blowout scores, and games will be less entertaining because of that. Although it might make things a little bit quicker, but Yeah.
I just don't think the rule's necessary in the first place. We've spoken about it on here before, and when it first got introduced into the NRL, and I just don't see the point of changing it when it was. I think it was an unnecessary rule change to bring it in the first place. Because I don't think you need it. I just don't think
there's too much emphasis at times on speeding things up. But can you not just sit back and just one day say it's fast enough? You know, it is fast enough. We've got great athletes. You know, times have changed from 15 years. You know, you don't look at somebody now, barring a couple, and you wouldn't go, oh, he's a prop. They've all got similar physiques. You know, there's obviously a couple that are different. You know, your Fafitas example and Cassianos and those sort of players, but a lot of players are similar physiques, so your back rowers now they could quite easily play in the centre and in the backs. Before 10, 15 years ago, you'd no chance. So it's got quicker and people are more athletic now. Why do we have to go that extra step further just to say, oh, it's quicker? I just think it's a very poor rule, and the art of having a big bopper and a big prop, they're going to go out of the window because they're just not going to be quick enough. To cope.
Yeah, and I just think they're trying to make rule changes for the sake of it. I think like I said before, what is the point? And the point, like you've said, what is it just to make it a little bit faster? What is the point in doing that?
Yeah, I agree.
It was working completely fine. Why do you need to change the rules every 5 minutes?
I agree. It's just for me. It's just not going to work in Super League, but obviously time will tell. There's been a fair few goals actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 2 games that they're being played at the minute, both at half time. Chelsea are 2-1 up against Palace.
Well, we had a can't get my words out. We had a comment from Mally Stokes saying, "What a goal Zaha!"
Yeah, well,
so it must have been a good goal coming from a Chelsea fan.
Yep. So Pulisic scoring that second goal to put Chelsea 2-0 up, and then Zaha getting that goal back for Palace. So a big goal for them, and they're back in it. 1-1 Watford and Norwich in that crucial game to stay in the Premier League. Really, as daft as it sounds, Norwich were down and out 2 weeks ago. They win today. They're only 4 points off safety.
Well, yeah, and
there's still enough games to turn that around.
Yeah, other results have kind of gone their way and
they
benefited
do need to win
them
today
as well.
because they're playing a team that's around that relegation zone in Watford. They need to win today because Watford win. They got 10 points adrift of Norwich.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just there's a lot riding on it, and at the minute it's 1 apiece. 2 goals inside the first 10 minutes, and then tonight 8:15. Big game, Arsenal and Leicester.
I'm surprised you've not got your Arsenal top on.
Oh, don't worry, I'll have it on.
We've got a comment from Ben Gumasul that says, "I think it's a joke changing the rules midway through the season." Yeah, I agree. I think you've started the season with one set of rules. You're coming back after... Yeah, that's another thing, actually, Ben. Thank you for bringing that up. You're coming back after 3-4 months of being out, and then... You're not. Let's not lie. The players aren't going to be the fittest coming back. They've had 3-4 months off. They're not going to be as fit as they were at the start of the season.
I can't wait to see some players when they get back.
Then you've got this
entertaining watch than this 6 again.
Well, but then you've got this new rules coming in that you've got to get used to.
I tell you what.
Six again. They're not going to. It's just going to be ridiculous.
I tell you one rule that is up for debate. What do you think on this, Ben? Come on, let us know. Go on the Reds, yeah. Come on the Arsenal. big game, Marie. Yeah. Just this Golden Point. I think there's talk of scrapping Golden Point. Now what happens? You're a Wakefield Trinity who in the last Super League game before lockdown lost in Golden Point to a Mark Sneyd drop goal. How's that fair now? If Hull FC are allowed them 2 points?
No, it's not.
It's not fair.
No. So you can't. No. That's not something that you can change in the middle of the season.
Exactly. So if you're changing it, you've got to change the league standings and change the results because Golden Point. If Golden Point, you can't have it counting for 5 rounds and then not.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
So Wakefield need that point back.
Yeah.
I'm putting a strong case for that, mate.
I hope that they don't change it midway.
But that point could be crucial towards the end of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that it obviously promote, but it's still a point. And you know, for Hull to have a point knocked off and Wakefield to gain a point,
It's a bit, yeah, it is exactly. It's the difference between like where you finish and.
Yeah.
But I just think that's one rule that they can't change midway through the season because it's completely changing the whole layout of the game and the layout of the table. Sorry, I think if you're going to change it, look at it for 2021. I think we brought it in because obviously NRL used Golden Point, and for me, I'm not a fan of it. I think if you're a team that have been going at each other for 80 minutes and at the end of the 80 minutes it's a draw, then fair and square it's a draw.
Yeah, the point I make on Golden Point, I like it in the fact that the games are entertaining. It's the entertainment value at the end of the day.
Yeah, but even in the last 5 minutes of your
listen,
80 minutes, you're still going to be going hell for leather to get a drop goal. So why add another 10 minutes on?
I'm gonna just say that I think keep Golden Point, but the team that loses gets a point. I think so. For example, obviously, LFC won that Golden Point game against Wakefield. Wakefield will come away with 1 point, and LFC have just got that bonus point for winning Golden Point.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I think so. I just think it. You know, it's that entertainment value. At the end of the day, there's been that many great finishers in this Golden Point, and it just. I don't know, but I'm more to the point. I'd rather them scrap it than keep it how it is. That's what I'm saying. But if they are going to keep it, I think they need to give the team that's lost the 1 point for
can you see that
after
happening?
80 minutes. Yeah, I can, but I think they'll probably just scrap it. I think they'll scrap it.
I just think for me, yeah, it does add good entertainment, but I think if you're still 80 minutes and you're still drawing and you've got 75, 76 minutes on the clock, your two teams are still going to be going at each other to get that drop goal to win the game. So just for me, I think if you look at it like that and you can each get a point at the end of the 80 minutes, I think that worked absolutely fine for me.
Yeah. So I think we'll better breakfast for some. We're nearly 25 minutes in. So if we have a song and then, like, Ben, if you want to drop some comments in during this break, just on any specific topics you want us to discuss, we'll be more than happy to do that, won't we?
Yeah, we can come back as well, and we've not touched upon the news that John Bateman's coming back to Wigan and what that means for Wigan. We can talk about that after the break, but I've chosen the songs this week.
Yeah, I don't know what's coming up.
We've got some belters, some 70s tunes.
Bangers. So if you've got any thoughts for Connor and Zoe, get in touch with us, Instagram and Twitter at SmileRadio3, or you can drop me a message, richard@smileradio.co, or we're on Facebook, which is Smile Radio Yorkshire. So get in touch, let us know your thoughts. We'll be right back after a bit of I Like to Boogie.
Oh dear.
We love to boogie. We love to boogie. Jitterbug boogie. Bowling Billy boogie. We love to boogie on a Saturday night. Linda Mayfinder's got a Cadillac bone. Jamie lost a cherry walking all the way home. The passion of the earth blasted his mind. Now his neat sweet ready for the moon bass grind. We love to boogie. We love to boogie on a Saturday night. I said we love to boogie. We love to boogie. High school boogie. Jitterbug boogie. We love to boogie on a Saturday night. Yeah. With a rattlesnake with a tail feathers high. Jitterbug left and smiled to the sky. With your black velvet cape and your stovepipe hat. Bebop baby, the dance is where it at. I love to boogie. Yes, I love to boogie on a Saturday night. I said I love to boogie. I love to boogie. Jitterbug boogie. I love to boogie. I love to boogie on a Saturday night. I love to boogie. I love to boogie. I love to boogie. I love to boogie. I
We're back. I love to boogie on a Saturday night. I'll be loving to boogie if Arsenal get 3 points tonight. That's for sure.
They're not gonna. They won't.
They are. They're on it. They're on it. So Bateman then back at Wigan. I don't think it's a great surprise to many people. I did expect him to go back to Wigan, but a good signing for him. You know, somebody that is
Well, I mean, he's
developed his game in NRL. Hasn't
Yeah, and I think at the time of him going, Wigan on, and both him and Canberra did say, I think, that they only expected him to be there about 2 or 3 years, and then they expected him to come back to Super League, and obviously he's not gonna go anywhere else other than Wigan. And yeah, he's really developed his game over in Canberra. I think he was good. He was a fantastic player for Wigan, and before he went, and then going over there and he won Dally M Player of the Year. We was in the Dally M Team of the Year over in the NRL for 2009. It was 2019 last year. I've forgotten what year we're in.
Take your shoes and socks off and count.
So obviously he was a real hit in his first season. He has been a bit injury prone this year, so he's not taken back to the field after the coronavirus lockdown. But he should be back for the back end of the season. And he'll want to sign off in style. He has had a magnificent couple of years over there, and he'll be coming back a better player, and he'll be a real threat for Wigan, I think.
Well, it's certainly, you know, I remember Sam Tompkins going over to the RL and playing at New Zealand Warriors, and obviously going back to Wigan. I think it was fair to say he didn't quite crack the NRL, did Sam, but I think John Bateman's really cracked it, and he's in a great position that, you know, I'll come back and spend a couple of years at Wigan, and then if I want to go back to NRL in a couple of years, I've got a choice of all of them clubs, because all of them clubs would take him.
Absolutely.
He's in a great position. So, yeah, great to have him back in Super League. Real tough, no-nonsense player, a bit of quality as well. And he will really stiffen up that back row for Wigan. You know, you've got Liam Farrell on the other side, and Bateman, and they've got some really good players in that pack, and Bateman just adds to that. He's just a real great back rower.
You can't say any more than that, can you?
I wonder how much he's on, but he's on the right whack, isn't he?
Well, is he classed as a marquee signing, or is he just coming back?
I'd imagine he will be classed as a marquee signing, but you know, I think they've got to somehow shift about the squad to bring in Bateman. I think
they will have to.
Jackson Hastings will be moving on, I think. So, but even then, they'll need another halfback. Yeah, it'd be just be interesting to see what happens across all clubs, really, with regards to recruitment. Because there's going to be a load of players that become available because of this predicament we're in, and players that have to be. There's going to be a lot of wheeling and dealing around. I think that's the word. So don't be surprised to see a fair few shock departures among clubs and
they've
signings.
got and you've got to take finances into consideration. I mean, a lot of clubs will be suffering massively through the loss of income throughout the last 3-4 months, and I think there'll be a lot of, like you said, shifting of players and signing in different clubs, etc. So it'll be interesting to see how teams end up at the end of the year ready for 2021.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a weird position this for players that they're in, because will they raise the game a little bit because they know that clubs are going to have to get shut of them? Will they come into this period now after when the games resume thinking, hang on a minute, I've got a point to prove here. I could ban myself a contract, and I could be in their plans for next season. It is probably a situation where you'd see players up the levels and up the game, really, I think, because you know, if you get a run in the team when the games return and you poor, you know, you're not at your best, then you know, come looking at squads for 2021, you might not feature in them plans, and you might have to go part-time or whatever. I think it's a big period for players to impress when they get back to it.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out and attack the game, and it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out.
It will. Well, I tell you what, since we've been on last, Liverpool won the title, didn't they?
Oh.
Is that how long it's been?
Well, it's been a fortnight,
like...
and it's just coming up to 2 weeks since Liverpool clinched that league title. I don't think it were ever in doubt, were it? But just how I won't say how well Liverpool played. I'll say, where does this Liverpool team rank in terms of the teams that have won the Premier League, would you say?
I think they're very much up there. They've just got, I think, class all over the park. When you look at the teams and some of the games they have won this year, they've not necessarily played fantastic football, but they've ground out those 1-0 wins, them 2-1 wins, and I think that's the sign of a great team where you can come together and win those games, and that's what you need. And I just think they've been building and building over the years since Klopp has come in, and then now they've got that strong, solid squad that could just beat our world beaters on the day.
I think it's mad that Liverpool have ran away with it like they have when you look at the stats, and that just further proof that stats aren't the be all and end all. Man United's front three scored more goals than Liverpool's front three. The strikers at Man City both have scored goals than the striker at Liverpool.
Yep.
It is mad. You know, Firmino's only got a couple of goals this season, and he's a striker for the team that's won the title. I think you've got to take your hat off to Jurgen Klopp. He's been the player of the season for me.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, the way he's got them playing, and you look at Man City and you think Kevin De Bruyne are world class, and Liverpool have got players in there like Mane that are world class and Salah's, but I don't think they're quite at Kevin De Bruyne's level. But what they have got, what I don't think Man City have got, they've got a real identity in terms of the way they play and grind out those wins, and they're just so. Jurgen Klopp has got to be the best manager in the world at the minute, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's got to be.
Of course.
The way he's turned that Liverpool team from where they were to what they are now, without doing a massive deal of spending. I mean,
the biggest spending he's done is Van Dijk and Alisson, isn't it? But he's got Robertson for next to nothing.
What he's done is swap Robertson for Kevin Stewart, and Kevin Stewart, Danny Batty's keeping Kevin Stewart at Hull City team. The wheeling and dealing he's done to get his squad how it is and develop these players. And Alexander Arnold, for me, if you're talking of a player to win the PFA, I think you've got to pick Alexander Arnold. Got to. He's been fantastic all season, and to say that he's only 20 years old, or he's 21 years old, isn't he?
Yeah, Melly Starks has said, don't think anybody else has won the league with 7 games left. They haven't.
No, it was a record,
Liverpool are the only team to do that, and it is just phenomenal.
They've won the title at the earliest point, earlier than any other team.
Yeah.
And you just think, compared to that Man City team that won it with however many points, and when Liverpool were narrowly missed out, and now this season they've won it by a landslide. So you just it's got to be down to Klopp and the way that he's managing those players, and the way that he's just built that team to play together, grind out those wins, and get those like nitty gritty wins that you need to win.
So my next question: you're heading into an off season now with Liverpool and looking to build on this for next year, and you know, it's always harder to maintain what you've achieved in the year before and to win that title again. If you're going into a transfer window ahead of next season, where are you looking to improve? What would be your policy? What would you look to do? Because I think you've still got to, whilst you know the saying goes, don't try and fix what's not broken.
Well,
you've still got to bring somebody into the club to keep everybody fresh and just freshen things up, and 2, just to keep on top of it, because you know that Man City will improve their squad. Yeah,
it's difficult to. I mean, that's why I'm not a football manager. It's difficult to know where to strengthen when they've played that well this year. So the question the answer to your question is I'm not quite sure. What about you?
I think
I'll be honest, and
if I were Liverpool, I'm a massive Roberto Firmino fan, and for me he still starts every week next year because his link-up play and he's just an unselfish player, even though he don't score a lot of goals. But I'd be tempted to sign a high-quality striker, somebody who can come on and if a Firmino, a Salah or a Mane are injured or just not playing, need a rest, this striker can come into the team, seamlessly and bag a few goals and keep that quality. Because I think if Firmino gets injured, Origi's a decent player to play either side or be a bit of a backup and squad rotation, but he doesn't quite have that quality that your Mane's and your Firminos have. So I think they need a striker that is a bit of a plan B. So, but a goal scorer as well, and somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net and be a solid option when Firmino needs a breather, or if they just want to change things up. That's what I think. The striker. I'm trying to think of.
Who are you looking at for?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know names in particular, but I don't know. It depends who comes available. There's that many top strikers in the world. It just depends who comes available. Perhaps somebody like an Alexis Sanchez or somebody like that, who's somebody along those lines, and that, you know, is on loan at Juve, and if his loan expires, he might become available to some clubs in England. You know, would Liverpool be interested in somebody like him potentially? But yeah, other than striker, maybe just having that extra number there, I'm not sure. The midfielders, you look and you always think, oh, the midfield's very solid, not out of the ordinary, but there's still a lot of numbers in there. And you look at Henderson, who is your captain. I can't really see him dropping Henderson. Fabinho, who's been a breath of fresh air in midfield. There's a question mark over who starts in that other position. Are they going to play Wijnaldum, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain?
But that's the thing. They've got that. They've
Yeah,
got that depth
but
in the midfield
they have,
area.
but
So
do
do
they-
they need another?
Do they need somebody
Member.
in there that's not a member, somebody that's going to be an upgrade on Wijnaldum and Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain? Somebody who's going to be a dominant, real dominant midfielder. And that for me is the only way I could see Liverpool improving. I think full-backs and centre-halves are good, and obviously the keeper's the best about. So yeah, other than maybe a striker and another midfielder, a very push.
Yeah.
A push. So it will be interesting to see what Jurgen Klopp does and how he freshens things up. But for Man City, it's going to be tough for them, because I've been told off a good source that Guardiola won't be there next year. So, you know, does that bring Man City back to square one? And I don't know, who do they bring in to replace him, and what players stay and do as well for the new manager as what they would under Guardiola. It is it's going to be interesting next year to see who's up there. You look at Man United and how well they've been playing of late. They've got an exciting front three who I've just said have scored more goals than the Liverpool front three in Rashford, Martial and Greenwood.
I think every team from this year is going to be stronger next year. And
Yeah.
like you said, Man U have had that time to play under Solskjaer, and they've been playing really well lately. So you think teams like that, Man United, Chelsea are back in the transfer window. They've already signed a couple of decent players, and they've had times to grow under Frank Lampard. They've got the youth coming through, but then they've also got the mix of the older heads and the new players that they're bringing in next year. And then your Man Cities, they'll be wanting to go one better than what they've done this year. So it's a case of I think it'll be a lot closer next year as to what it has been this year. And it's a case of, if you're Liverpool, do you try and make your squad better, or do you just keep with your squad that you've got that's won you the league by so many points?
I think you've just got to fine tune it, see who's available,
Yeah.
see who could improve you, see who's available at a decent price, and just, you know, don't force it, don't fix what's not broken, but at the same
I think
time
Klopp
you've
knows
got to,
exactly. I mean,
you've got to freshen things up.
he's obviously got the squad to a point now where he wants them and winning the league by so many points, but now he'll always want to improve and want to better the
tell
squad,
you.
but not at the detriment of other players and the squad that he's already built.
Tell you one team I fear for, Tottenham a little bit, because I look at Tottenham and I think they seem to have lost that Pochettino, that they always never had the quality of your top 2 or 3 clubs, but they were always there or thereabouts, because Pochettino played a great style, was a great manager, breath of fresh air at that football club, and he always got Tottenham punching above the weight. My worry is now they've got Mourinho in, and and although he'll stiffen them up to some extent,
I
can't see him improving.
They seem to have gone backwards a little bit for me, I think.
I can't see him
Yeah.
improving. I can't see him getting much worse. I just see him around that sort of area. And I look at the Tottenham aren't known for going out and spending big money. Will Levy and Spurs want to do that in the summer to recruit for next year? I can't really see it. So again, other than a couple of maybe new signings, it's going to be same again for Spurs and Mourinho. So they're the club that I think could really fall behind. And Mourinho is not. He just hasn't moved with the times for me as much as other club. And for every other club, there's a project going on there. And you know, you've got Liverpool who are looking to retain the title from this year. You've got Man City who are looking to bounce back and win the title and will improve. You've got Arsenal who have appointed a young, hungry manager, and that's a long-term project. Same as Man United with Solskjaer.
Yeah.
And then you've got obviously Lampard at Chelsea. So there's real long-term pictures in there and exciting times. And I just think
I feel like
it could go stale at Tottenham.
And
just
I feel like
stale is the word.
they've gone for the quick fix rather than looking into the future and looking what they can achieve. Mourinho obviously is past accolades speak for themselves, and he's won so many trophies, won so many titles, but I fear the same as when he was at Man United, as he's not going to take Tottenham anywhere. They're not necessarily, I don't think, going to improve on what they were with Pochettino. So I just think, was Mourinho the right appointment for them? I don't think so, and I think
They should have never sat Pochettino.
No, I agree, but he's been and like I said, he's been fantastic over the years. But is he now at a point in his career where it's time to just, I don't know, time to hang up his boots, as they say? I mean, I'm not denying that he's a fantastic manager, or was, but is he going to still have that same effect on teams now?
Couple of messages from Ben. He says a number of players at Liverpool have passed their best in his opinion. The first 11 outstanding at Liverpool may be a bit light outside the starting 11. And also take Kane out of Spurs. What is there? Not a lot.
No, I agree. I
Song.
agree.
I like
I agree with you on that one. Yeah.
I like Song. He's pretty good.
But apart from that, you don't look at the Spurs side. What?
Son's a good player, but he ain't going to win your Premier
Yeah.
League title like a Kevin De Bruyne, is he?
No.
That sort
And
of player.
if you look down the Spurs team, what players would you take out of the Spurs team and say take them at Arsenal?
Probably both centre halves or three of their centre halves. I'd probably take Harry Kane to play up front.
Well, yeah,
with Aubameyang.
apart from Harry Kane, obviously.
And then other than that, really, maybe a midfielder. I'd take 4 or 5, yeah. But I just look at Arsenal and I see Arsenal improving more in the longer term with the young players they've got coming through and a young hungry manager. At the present, that's what I'm saying. It's just going stale at Spurs, and that's the risk they have there. Just going completely stale. 15 minutes ago, we're going to have the second song.
I think we should.
Yeah, we'll break for the second song and then come back and talk. Or you can go through the Arsenal lineup. I can see it on your phone, and we'll have a look at the fixtures and stuff that are coming up.
Good stuff.
So again, this one is chosen by the delightful Zoe.
Thanks.
Aretha Franklin, Son of a Preacher Man. You listen to On the Whistle with Connor and Zoe live on Smile Radio.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gather around the parlor talking, that's when Billy would take me walking through the backyard, and we'd go walking. was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the slide, taking time to make time, telling me that he's all of mine, learning from each other's knowing, looking to see how much we're growing. The only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. Hallelujah, he was. He was. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Son of a preacher man. Hallelujah, what a song now, yeah. Son of a preacher man. Hallelujah, yeah. Son of a preacher man. Hallelujah, for the son now. Son of a preacher man. He's the only boy, yes he is, who could ever reach me. Son of a preacher man. He's the only boy who could ever teach me.
College Grove Nursery in Wakefield has been providing the highest standard of childcare for over 22 years. Situated on Eastmore Road, we are close to the M1 and M62 motorway network and also convenient for Wakefield city centre, schools and major places of employment. For more details, check out our website at www.collegegrovenursery.co.uk or give us a call on 01924 200 120 to arrange a visit. College Grove, a special nursery which takes a hand, opens a mind and touches a heart.
We're back.
We're back and Welbeck's just scored a right goal.
Yeah, an
Just watching
unbelievable
it.
overhead kick there from Welbeck. The ball wasn't coming at much pace, so that's a great technique
Yeah.
and great finish into top corner. No keeper saving that.
It's like you on a Wednesday night.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Absolute great goal. But Welbeck, they were talking about in pre-game and sort of saying he could be key for Watford to stay up in the Premier League. And you know,
I
think
like
the touch of
Welbeck.
class
I
there
always
that
have.
he's got. I just really feel for him throughout his career.
Yeah,
he's always had
he's-
injuries,
yeah,
hasn't he? But
Isn't-
he's still an handy player when fit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think throughout his career, he's never really had a decent run in any side because of his injuries, and I think he finds himself at Palace now. He's been all over.
Watford.
You what?
Watford, sorry. He said Palace.
Yeah, I meant Watford. It's because we were talking about Palace before. I've lost my train of thought now. So hopefully now, yeah, he's back from injury and he can get a decent run in the side, and that will have done in the world a good scoring a goal like that.
Yeah, it will. Just obviously in Arsenal's team there, Nicolas Pepe back on the bench to add a bit of a boost to Arsenal. Lacazette back in after scoring against Wolves, and that was a real complete performance. That I think the first team to beat Wolves at Wolves this year, and the only side to keep a clean sheet at Wolves as well this year. So two records broken in one game, and I think it shows that Arsenal are turning a corner. You know, three away wins on the spin, as some go in say they've not won away.
Yeah.
They only won away once in 20 odd before that. So
They're back.
positive signs.
Yeah, back at home against Leicester tonight, aren't they?
Go on then.
Leicester will be a tough side to beat. They've been up there throughout the whole season, but they seem
Well, they're still in third, Leicester, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're still third.
Vardy's had a bit of form. He scored twice
yeah,
the night.
Vardy
Yeah.
on fire. So
it should be a good game between two sides that are on quite decent form at the minute.
two sides that you always really enjoy watching.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
Even if Arsenal can mess up, but you still always enjoy watching them to some extent. And Leicester are exciting.
I think Leicester I think what Brendan Rodgers has brought to Leicester, I mean, they went through a patch, didn't they, after Ranieri left, and they were sort of down at the bottom, not really playing very well, and they seem to have lost their way a little bit. But now I think Rodgers has come back. He's got them playing well together again, and they seem to have had a bit of a boost this season, and I hope that they can carry on and finish in the Champions League spot.
I like Rodgers, me.
Yeah, he's good. He's been good wherever he's been at, and he got Liverpool. And
He were unlucky. He were going to say.
but I look at that
Yeah,
team, and
yeah,
you've
yeah,
got you've players in there that Yes, they had Suarez that were unbelievable, but other than Suarez, they had some rubbish in that side. You know, Martin Skirtle at centre back and Glenn Johnson at right back and like Jay Spearing as the next best in midfield, and he's now at Bolton in League One. How we managed to get them within an inch of winning the Premier League title is unbelievable for me with the resources and squad he had. It was. And then Leicester's obviously come in when it's hard for Leicester. Obviously, they had that year under Ranieri and just dropped off, and you're thinking, oh, this could, turn nasty for Leicester if they don't want Chinese. Just came in and just picked them up from the bottom and just took them back up. And to be in around the Champions League and in a Champions League spot, it's unbelievable achievement if they met the top 4 this year and they're in the driving seat to do so. But I hope we don't win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at them when they won the Premier League and nobody obviously expected that, and we've spoken about how brilliant that was. And then after that, you think, well, they've had that year. They'll drop off a little bit, and they did eventually. But I think now it's just proven that they do have a good squad, and they've obviously made a few additions, and a few have left over the years, but I think they've got a solid squad now, and it shows that they can follow it up and be up there amongst your likes of Man City and Chelsea and Tottenham in those top 4, top 5 places.
I think because they had that freak year where they won the title, people take it for granted that they're in the top 4 and in third. They seem to some people can expect it, but unbelievable because it's a completely different squad and they still don't spend no money and the third in the Premier League. If Leicester hadn't won that title, people would be talking about this all through the year. So just like people were talking about Sheffield United being in the top 5 and unbelievable season for Leicester.
I'll tell you what, that was a good result as well for Sheffield United against Tottenham, a 3-1 result the other night.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They just looked so comfortable.
Is that the game where Spurs got a goal disallowed?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Which was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
The reason why he handballed it, he was fouled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Just anyway.
But,
because we were watching it on Football Focus at the weekend, and I think the pundits couldn't believe what had happened. He was pushed over, wasn't he? And then he handled it, and then the goal got disallowed.
Yeah. But the ball, he didn't actually Yes, his hand touched the ball.
But the ball, yeah.
But the ball, it wasn't like an intentional handball.
And he couldn't have moved. He was in no position to move his hand away.
Ridiculous. Anyway, is that down to VAR again?
Keep them coming for me as long as if it's Tottenham. Fine by me.
Don't be telling Eric.
I've got them hooked up.
But I think Sheffield United they've had a few. Not great results coming back from.
They've struggled to pick up where they left off.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't. The words won't come out of my mouth.
They needed that win.
Yeah, they did, and I think I love what Chris Wilder's done to that squad and where they are now. I think nobody expected them to be in the position that they are, and I really hope they can go on and win a few more games and finish as high as they can.
Molly Stokes says Brendan was at Chelsea for years with the under-21s and 18s, and he won loads with them. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
No, I
didn't know that. Thanks for that, Molly.
Yeah, be interesting which players sort of came through and who developed there, and what sort of era it was. Because I didn't know that, but I can imagine he did really well because you can just tell he's a great manager and he will. I know Leicester are a big club, but he will get another big opportunity to have a stab at being a sustainable top 2 Premier League club somewhere, or you know what I mean. I think he'll get a big job.
I think for Leicester their goal now is to obviously consolidate the.
It's to be sustainable in around
exactly,
there.
and I think it's
tough. It'll be tough.
Yeah, to get the top 4 this season, and then going on and moving forward into next season, and the season after that is just to keep that consistency and being in and around that top 4. For years to come, and obviously we said earlier in the show it'll be harder because your likes of Man United are coming good again, and Arsenal will be looking to improve on where they have been over the last couple of years, and so it'll be tough over the next few years. But for Leicester, I think to be there or thereabouts, that is where they'll want to be.
Yeah, I agree. But it just will be tough.
It's gonna, of course. I think the Premier League's just going to get even more tough. For the next couple of years. I think obviously Liverpool have run away with it this year, but like I said, your likes of Man United and Arsenal and City, of course, they'll be all looking to
See what happens in the window.
improve.
See which
Exactly,
clubs
yeah.
improve and who
It'll be
who
interesting
changes,
to see what. I mean, it's always exciting the transfer window, but it'll be interesting to see who goes where and what signings will be made.
Definitely. There we go. On that note, we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, it's time. I got carried away. Then I didn't realise what time it was.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week for some more.
Yes, so don't forget, if you missed this show or any other show, you can go to our website, www.smileradio.co/on-demand, or you can download podcasts from iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and all the major podcasting sites. So I've been Rich,
I've been Connor.
I'm Zoe.
the good-looking one. Isn't that right, Ben? Anyway, have a great rest of your evening, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week, same time next week.
Thank you.
Have a dirty.
Yeah, my should I known it from the very start. This girl to leave me with a broken heart. Listen, people, what I'm telling you. I keep away from a run around Sue. Yeah, my miss her lips and a smile on her face. The touch of her hand and this girl's warm embrace. So if you don't wanna cry like I do, I keep away from a run around Sue.